So as you go through your life, your business life, your career, there's going to be a time to say yes, and there's going to be a time to say no. So there's a time to say yes, and there's a time to say no. Especially if you're at the beginning of your business career. There's a time to say yes to opportunities because you need to open the door to opportunity, right? You need to open and try new business models. You need to try new, selling products to a different niche. You need to try different price points. There's a lot of things you need to try because you haven't had success yet. Now, when you see a sign of success, when you have found something that is starting to work, it is time to close the doors, to shut everything off, and to focus on getting more success with what you have. And this is where people things up. Because throughout your career, you'll notice that it's not easy to find things that work. So when you do find things that work, you need to focus on them. And when something is finally working, you will notice that the world, life in general, has a way of trying to distract you from what you truly want to accomplish. And so it is up to you to make sure that you eliminate any potential distractions. And when I look at my own business success, whether it's getting my first clients, making my first million, making my first 10 million, acquiring my first company, selling my first company, all those different milestones, it's always come off the back of saying no to things. And I've noticed that when I make big moves in life, big moves in business, it's usually because I have said no to a lot of things before that. And before that, when I was training to become a professional tennis player between the ages of 12 and 21, you can't do 5 different sports, right? So coaches decided for us, okay, you're gonna have to choose. Is it tennis? Is it football? Is it ice hockey? You have to pick one. And that's what got me from being a local tennis player to becoming number 1 in the country and traveling and representing my country at the World Championships, the European Championships, and playing against some of the legends who are my age, who became legends throughout their tennis careers after that. And so, again, you can't succeed at one sport and still compete at 5 other sports. You have to pick one. It's the same thing in business. And so we were taught from a very young age, if you want to succeed in tennis and you want to really become a pro, you need to say no to drinking, to smoking, to going out at night, to coming back at 5 a.m., to spending time with friends, to going on vacations. You need to only focus on tennis. And so from a very young age, I was taught the importance of focus without even knowing that it would serve me in business. And then watching videos of Steve Jobs, who literally says that focusing is not saying yes, it's saying no. You need to be able to say no if you want to get to the next level of success in your life or in sports or in anything you're trying to get success in. And saying no means that you might disappoint people that are very close to you. It might mean saying no to people that you love. It might mean saying no to friends who invite you over and want to spend time with you. And what I've noticed around me, meeting thousands of entrepreneurs over the last 15 plus years being an entrepreneur, is that there's a lot of people succeeding that are better than you today. They have better results, but they have less potential than you. They're not as smart as you, but they have better results. And it's usually because they just picked one thing and they did it and they said no to a bunch of other things. And so you need to think of you. The time right now is for you to think of you, because when you become the best version that you can become, the best entrepreneur, the best athlete, you can be great and everyone around you benefits from you being successful. So you need to think of you first. And so there's a time to be selfish. There's a time to focus on you, your career, and what you want to do. It's okay to say no to outside things so you can fully focus on building you and your career. So you then have time to enjoy and be better and be able to help people around you. So there's a time to be selfish and saying no to things to focus fully on you and your path. Because when you become successful, everyone around you benefits. And what you need to understand is this. There's 2 types of people. Going through this myself over the last 15, 20 years, making decisions and deciding to become an entrepreneur, really going and building my own businesses and my business portfolio today, is you need to understand that there's going to be 2 types of people. There's going to be people who always believe in you and who will keep supporting you, whatever you do. And they will understand that to be successful, you need to say no, you need to eliminate distractions, you need to say no to the invitations every now and then, because that's what it takes. And number 2, there's going to be people who are jealous, people who resent your success because they're not capable of doing what you will have achieved. And that's fine. You don't want those people in your life anyway. And the real people, the real ones will stick with you because they'll be happy for your success. And they understand that there's a time to say yes, and there's a time to say no and to be focused. And you'll notice that the most successful people in life, the multimillionaires, the billionaires, those who have full freedom, are those who are able to say no and who are fine with what people think about them saying no. And so when I look at my own life, I say no to 99% of the offers, the opportunities, the investment opportunities, the ideas, just because I'm very clear on what I want to do, the way I want to live my life, the way I want to invest, and I'm very clear on what I don't want. If you have absolute clarity on what you want to achieve, you should be okay saying no to things. You should be okay with disappointing people around you, because ultimately you don't control the way they feel and the way they think about you. So if you want success and you want to bring success to people around you, there is a time to say yes, there is a time to say no. And so personally, at the beginning of my business career, I would say yes to a lot of things. I would go to business events, I would go to networking events. I would do a lot of things because I was young and I was still trying to figure things out like every young entrepreneur, right? And now it's the extreme opposite. So the number one piece of advice I can give you is if you want to accelerate your success, there's a time to say yes, there's a time to say no. So look into what you're doing right now in your career, your business career, your sports career, your artistic career, whatever the case may be, and ask yourself, should I say yes? And am I saying yes too much? And do I need to start saying no more so I can really focus on becoming the best I can be at what I do? And I can tell you, having gone through this, the more you start saying no, the more you create time and space for success, because you'll have time to focus on what really works.